Money and the moon. Cycles of collections, debt, and banking tied to lunar phases. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Money Magic series. Look at the calendar that governs your bills, your credit card cycles, your mortgage payments, your due dates. Now look at the sky. Notice how often those dates align with quarters of the moon, how often collections fall at full moons, how settlements come with new moons. This is not coincidence. Money has always followed the moon. Long before banking apps and electronic statements, financial systems were built on lunar rhythms. The waxing and waning of the moon structured agriculture, tides, calendars, and ritual offerings, and those rhythms carried forward into contracts, debts, and collections. To speak of money and the moon is to uncover a hidden architecture, the way financial systems have always timed themselves to the cosmic clock above our heads. Lunar time as humanity's first clock. Before mechanical clocks, before solar calendars, humans measured time by the moon. Every 29.5 days, the moon completed a cycle of phases. Its waxing crescent, full blaze, and waning shadow were visible to every community. It became the natural unit for planting and harvesting, for gathering and feasting, for trade and taxation. Ancient Mesopotamian economies scheduled debt payments with the new moon. Babylonian scribes recorded lunar eclipses alongside loan records, treating both as part of the same divine order. In Jewish tradition, the new moon marked the beginning of each month, with festivals and offerings tied to cycles of renewal. Islam retains this today. Ramadan, Eid, and the Islamic year follow the lunar calendar. Agriculture, which underpinned every early economy, relied on lunar cycles. Farmers planted by the waxing moon, harvested by the waning. These rhythms structured surplus and scarcity, which in turn structured debt and repayment. To miss a cycle was to risk famine, to align with it was to secure plenty. Thus money, even in its embryonic form as grain tallies or clay tokens, was lunar. Debt and the moon's shadow. The connection between debt and the moon is especially striking. In Mesopotamia, interest payments were often calculated monthly, literally tied to the moon's reappearance. The Akkadian word for interest, mas, also meant calf, a monthly newborn that symbolized increase, mirroring the moon's return. Debt was not abstract. It was cyclical, like the moon, swelling and diminishing. When kings declared debt jubilees, they often did so at the new year, aligned with lunar festivals. The moon became a symbol not only of time, but of forgiveness and reset. In later cultures, this persisted. Medieval European lenders calculated interest per month, echoing the lunar cycle even after solar calendars dominated. Colonial America scheduled collections and courts on quarter days, March, June, September, December, which mirrored the 4 lunar quarters. The logic was clear. Debt, like the moon, grows, reaches fullness, wanes, and resets. Banking and lunar symbolism. Even modern banking betrays lunar traces. Statements close in cycles, 30 days, roughly 1 lunar month. Credit cards operate in billing periods that wax and wane like moons. Balance grows, reaches fullness at the due date, then wanes when paid. Salaries arrive bi-weekly or monthly, timed with artificial moons of accounting. Late fees, collections, and interest echo lunar inevitability. Miss the phase and the cycle turns against you. Many cultures encoded this symbolically. The crescent moon appears on Islamic coins and continues as a financial symbol across the Middle East. In alchemy, silver, ruled by the moon, was the metal of currency associated with liquidity, change, and trade. Gold was solar, stable, eternal. Silver was lunar, shifting every day. To handle coins was literally to handle moon metal. Collections at the full moon folklore often linked the full moon with madness, intensity, and harvest. It is also when debts were traditionally collected. Farmers sold crops at full moon markets. Tax collectors timed visits to align with bright nights, easier for travel and accounting. Full moons were moments of reckoning, when growth was visible, when concealment was impossible. Even today, payroll cycles, rent, and mortgage payments often fall at month's end, which is frequently near a full moon. Whether consciously designed or not, the pattern persists. Fullness of the moon, fullness of accounts. The moon as banker of the tide. On a deeper level, the moon literally moves money through its pull on tides. Ports, shipping, and global trade depended on lunar cycles. High tides determined when ships could dock, unload, and carry goods inland. Insurance, contracts, and credit for merchants all hinged on these timings. In coastal cities, commerce was a lunar event, scheduled by water's rise and fall. Even inland, markets followed, since goods traveled along these lunar-governed currents. The language of finance remembers this. Liquid assets, currency, flow, flooding, frozen accounts. All are echoes of water, which is governed by the moon. To ignore the moon was to risk disaster at sea. To ignore it financially was to risk ruin on land. The lunar banker never stopped collecting. Astrology, wealth, and the lunar mind. Astrologically, the moon rules memory, cycles, and mood. In financial astrology, lunar phases are believed to affect markets. New moons for beginnings, full moons for culmination, eclipses for shocks. Traders track lunar calendars, noting patterns in market highs and lows. Whether coincidence or subconscious synchronization, markets often reflect lunar timing. Collective human psychology, tuned for millennia to the moon, still responds to its glow. This was explicit in earlier traditions. Farmers' almanacs, widely used in the 18th and 19th centuries, advised planting, harvesting, and even signing contracts by moon phases. Banks and merchants followed the same advice, aligning large transactions with auspicious lunar days. The moon was seen not just as a light but as a clock that kept financial time. Ritual and the lunar economy. Finally, consider ritual. Offerings to gods of wealth often coincided with lunar festivals. In India, Lakshmi is worshipped during Diwali, aligned with the new moon. In China, the Mid-Autumn Festival, centered on the full moon, is a time for settling debts and strengthening trade bonds. The Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, follows lunar timing and historically included debt forgiveness. These rituals sacralize the link. As the moon renewed, so did wealth. Even today, modern witches and spiritual practitioners use lunar phases for money magic, planting financial intentions at the new moon, charging talismans at the full moon, releasing scarcity at the waning moon. These practices are not new inventions. They are continuations of humanity's oldest money calendar. Why it matters. When you realize how deeply money is lunar, you stop seeing bills as arbitrary. You see cycles, waxing balances, full due dates, waning repayments, and resets. You notice how often your life's financial rhythm is already tuned to the moon, and you begin to see why the occult traditions insisted that wealth is not linear, but cyclical. The moon reminds us that nothing grows forever. It waxes, it wanes, it begins again. Debt follows the same rhythm, so does fortune. Money and the moon are inseparable because both are measures of flow, of tides, of time, of trust. Every coin is a moon in miniature, silver, round, waxing, and waning in your hand. Every statement cycle is a lunar echo, pulling you into the ancient dance of fullness and emptiness. To recognize this is to recognize that finance has always been cosmic, that the ledgers of banks and the rhythms of the sky are pages of the same book. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Manifestation series, where we don't just talk about manifesting, we master it. Because let's be honest, manifestation has been watered down, reduced to vague quotes, mood boards, and empty promises. But you didn't come here to wish. You came here to build a reality that hits different. A reality that responds to your frequency, your language, your alignment, and your decision to stop playing small. This series is not fluff. It's physics, frequency, and fierce creative power. Inside the Manifestation series, you're going to learn how to collapse timelines, shift identities, and speak worlds into existence, just like the greatest minds in history. This isn't just about being positive. This is about being powerful. Here's what you unlock inside. Vision to Reality, the Vision Board course. You've heard about vision boards, but you've never done them like this. This is a full energetic ritual, a precision-coded map for your subconscious, designed to bridge image, frequency, and strategy. It's not arts and crafts. It's blueprinting your future in visual form and turning it into matter. Time, quantum timelines, and why time isn't real. Manifestation doesn't take time. It takes alignment. In this module, I'll show you how time is just a mirror of energy and how to collapse timelines using choice, clarity, and vibration. Past, present, future, they're happening now. And when you know how to navigate time quantum style, you stop waiting and start receiving. Quantum jumping, instantly up level. Your next level life isn't years away. It's one decision away. In this training, you'll learn how to quantum jump, how to shift into a version of you that already has what you desire. This isn't fantasy. It's how high-performance creators, athletes, and spiritual masters leap beyond limits. Jump now. Land in power. Every word. The power of affirmations and spoken language. Words build worlds. In this course, I show you how to use affirmations like spell work, not just repeating empty mantras, but speaking with vibration, intention, and spiritual force. If you've ever felt like affirmations don't work, this will change everything. You'll learn to command your field, not just request from it. The greats. Learning from the most exceptional minds in history. We're not the first to master this. In this legendary module, we decode the techniques, habits, and quantum genius of the world's most powerful manifestors, from ancient sages to modern icons. You'll learn how to think like the greats, move like the greats, and manifest like the greats. This isn't another feel-good series. This is a spiritual weapon, disguised as a manifestation course. It's made for leaders, cycle breakers, visionaries, and soul builders. You don't need another wish list. You need a system that teaches you how to bend reality. This is that system. So if you're ready to stop playing with potential and start creating results, welcome to your next level. The Manifestation series is open now. You know what to do. Let's build what they said was impossible and make it inevitable.